finding all my crap and actually getting ready.
Oh, Davey says he can't hear you.
Need to unmute myself. Like I said, new game, technical challenges. All right. Oh, wow. 1 second.
Time's up.
There. Okay. My head was floating above the panel for my window. So, okay. Anywho.
I hate it when that happens.
What?
I hate it when that happens.
I had that happen last week.
I've got several games to get back at you, Brittany.
Don't tell me I'm going to die in episode 1.
I know, right? Sir not appearing in this film.
All your characters are now in a deathmatch.
Yeah, we'll give you the Steven Seagal treatment from Executive Decision.
Right.
He was a
Yeah, my
super
first
big
one on
star
the
at the
floor.
time, and they killed him off in like the first 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was
But he was
weird
billed
move.
as being in the movie and whatnot. So,
Right.
Oh, I hate that bait and switch.
oh, it wasn't a bait and switch. There's a great story behind it, but I'm not going to go into it right now.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay. No,
Super
you
funny.
can't have my cheese.
Hey, cheese. Cool. Food. All right. So we are back. We're live with a brand new game. This is, if you can tell by the name, Rift's Survivor's Dawn, which I have been keeping under wraps for those people who know what Rifts is. It is there. If you know what Rifts is, then it also makes sense why I'm using a custom rule set. As opposed to the offense to the to the company out there and whatnot. I know they kind of take some of that stuff personally. Not meant to. It's just for a bunch of new people. It was not a great system to try and bring some people in. So the genre, however, is amazing. Stories behind it and whatnot. So how we're going to begin today. Or begin the game is obviously an introduction. We're going to be introducing all brand new characters, and I'm actually making a quick scan. I've got everybody's name in there because I was having to do a bunch of last minute stuff. So, also there will be lead intros given to all of you, which I have written, so that way you kind of have an understanding as to where your character is on this particular day. Please note the day and the time. It is important. To be revealed later at a dramatically appropriate moment.
Nice.
I know. I just love saying that line. That and where is bed? Where is bed? Okay, so for everybody, this is the introduction to the world in which we find ourselves in now. It is December 21st, 2098. It is a perfect winter morning. The city of Phoenix awakens under a sky so clear and blue, it looks painted. The sun creeping over the horizon to bathe the skyline in warm gold. Despite the calendar marking late December, the air is crisp but pleasant, a product of the city's climate control system, ensuring that winter here is little more than a cool breeze. Even the towering glass and steel megastructures seem to shimmer with the glow of another perfect morning. The streets are alive with energy as commuters navigate their aerial maglev trams and hover lanes, morning traffic flowing in synchronized harmony thanks to the city's automated transit system. Pedestrians flood the elevated walkways, their chatter bleeding with the distant hum of repulsor engines and the melodic jingles of holiday advertisements playing everything from my phone jingle, which is getting muted, playing every the air carries the scent. Oops, sorry, with melodic jingles of holiday advertisements playing from every hollow billboard. The air carries the scent of roasted chestnuts, peppermint, and the occasional artificial pine from the seasonal street vendors stationed at key intersections, selling everything from festive snacks to high-end consumer gadgets. Massive digital banners stretch across the facades of corporate skyscrapers, displaying dazzling light shows of animated snowfalls, sparkling reindeer, and countdowns to the solstice spectacle, a citywide celebration set to fill the streets with parades, drone displays, and synchronized fireworks, and a synchronized fireworks show designed to illuminate the skyline in cascading waves of color. The Grand Plaza is already teeming with visitors, many drawn to the massive artificial ice rink installed for the holiday season, where skaters glide effortlessly beneath towering LED Christmas trees that pulse the perfect sync with festive music. Even the sleek, imposing structure of the NEMA headquarters has taken on a festive charm. The entrance, normally a no-nonsense display of security and efficiency, is adorned with a 30-foot chrome-plated Christmas tree, its decorations shimmering under the sun like polished gemstones. Hover drones drift nearby, scanning faces and monitoring the steady flow of personnel entering the facility, all while playing subdued instrumental versions of classic holiday songs. Across the city, people move with purpose, some rushing to wrap up their work before the holiday break, others lost in the excitement of last-minute shopping. Friends make plans for the evening, families prepare for gatherings, and children eagerly count down the hours until the festival begins. It is, by all appearances, another perfect day in Phoenix. I should also note, it hasn't come up here just yet, but the Phoenix-Tucson megalopolis is a real thing. The city spans from Phoenix all the way down to Tucson on a steady corridor of maglevs and smaller cities that have all just kind of grown together from either side of that particular north-south corridor. So with that out of the way,
I thought those cities were in the same place anyway.
And now you know.
They're like 2 hours apart, Mike.
Yeah.
And no is half the battle.
Well, I mean, technically Riverside and LA are 2 hours apart, but it's still one big city.
Just about, yes. Just about. But the 2 hours is because of traffic.
Right.
All right, I'm pulling up a map. I think I'm just going to make my character not from here, because not originally anyway.
That's fine. Okay, and before I go into our individual intros to kind of give each character their own segue into the game, we need to determine who's going to take notes for the first game tonight.
That's right.
I will obviously post the intros in the chat, so you guys don't have to actually reiterate what exactly I just said. So you'll have there. And Davey says you should roll for karma, because we have karma in this game. But
Can I spend my karma?
It is the first game of the month, technically. So if somebody wants to roll 1d4 plus 1 to start us off with some XP.
Do we get to celebrate Rex Manning Day too?
I was going to say only by coincidence did we miss Rex P for this particular game, because it would have been scheduled in that time frame. So if somebody wants to say, Rexy, you are so sexy.
Rexy, you're so sexy.
There we go. We now have Rex P coming. So go ahead and roll an additional 1d6 plus 1.
Oh, there's Tucson. Okay.
I'll roll the 1d4 if somebody rolls the
I'll roll the 1d6.
I ain't doing it. My XP dice are cursed.
Yep, mine too.
I'll wait for yours first.
Well, Kelly's here, so we should be good on dice. Dice really likes her.
It's a new game though, so we don't know.
I just tried and this said the application did not respond.
Oh.
Did you break it already?
Hopefully not.
Do we have a room for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The dice parser is actually offline again.
Right.
So then just roll the standard die bot and just roll 1d4 or 1d6. It'll take it.
What's
Hey,
the
Jerome?
standard one?
Jerome, I
Yes?
don't see the rooms in Discord for survivors.
Oh.
You didn't invite me.
Abby is not showing online in Discord, but she has it, so it looks like it's Dead Chili. Okay, 1 second. I don't even see you online right now.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
So it would help if you make yourself known.
I will make myself known. I do that sometimes to hide from certain individuals that bug the hell out of me.
I'm sorry, gosh.
Yeah.
Tell me you're busy.
I try, but you don't take a hint.
Wow.
No, I love Brittany.
What?
If I was a guy, I'd
What
date
happened with the dice bot, Kelly? Did you?
I just used the CMM because that's the only other rolling thing I saw.
Oh yeah,
Dice parser didn't.
don't use CMM.
Okay.
Although it's weird that it came out to the Simisi dice bot. Just use
Here,
slash
I'll do it.
MM and then I
Slash
wonder if
MM?
it'll. You know, Mail will let you
okay.
roll 1d6.
Wait,
or whatever.
MM is for World of Darkness. Aren't we doing 1d6 or 1d4?
We
Yeah, that's a
are,
good
but
point.
that dice bot is down for some reason. Oh hey, I gave it to you, and Abby got a 1, and Callie got a 3. Okay, cool, that'll work. So we'll go with that. Callie, we got 3 monthly XP, or that's Rexp. Somebody gonna roll the monthly XP? 1d4 plus 1.
Let's see here.
That is good to know that the Zemisi bot can do that. So cool. Everybody starts off with a total of 7 XP for the month.
Woo! Go shopping already.
Okay. Yeah, I've still got to play around here with some volumes. Okay. So start at the top here of my text pad. Get that. Close it. Okay. All right, Dale. Chipstone's day starts before the sun ever rises over the Sonoran horizon. Not that it matters much to Phoenix anymore. Hovercars don't wait on daylight. From his sleek 2088 Tesla Apex Roadster, Chip soars through the glimmering grid of the valley, weaving through ribbons of aerial lanes like a ghost in the machine. Scottsdale glows to life below him, neon lit and holiday decked with animated hollow snowflakes twinkling between high rises and massive 3D displays projecting cheerful synth Santa jingles throughout the skyline. Nexus Heights, his polished glass-wrapped condo complex on the Scottsdale fringe, sits like a serene oasis just above the desert scrub, the perfect launch pad for a man whose life revolves around motion. Chip's Days blend ride-share pings with gourmet bento box deliveries, VR tourist pickups, and the occasional bored exec needing to just drive for a while. Despite the whir of his high-performance hovercar and the blink of his dispatch panel, Chip moves through the day with a kind of practiced cool. He knows the fastest ways to Arcadia's elite co-working towers, where techies order quinoa wraps with a side of ego. He's memorized the best rooftop landing or loading pads for every mid-city sky bar, and how to dodge weekend drone parades in Tempe. From his elevated vantage point, Phoenix is a living diorama of chrome, concrete, and climate-controlled urban ambition. One draped in sparkling crimson and cobalt holograms this time of the year. He drinks synth coffee from his favorite indie kiosk in the Roosevelt Row, chats up regulars, and listens to people's stories between destinations. He likes the city best right after a fresh cleaning drone sweep. Clean air, quiet skies, and just enough sparkle to make him feel like he's part of something larger. Just another day on the circuit, just Chip, his Apex, and the pulse of Phoenix. So, Chip,
Yep.
You've currently got some deliveries to make.
Okay.
So you, my friend, have got to make some dexterity and drive checks.
Gotcha. Okay. We go on normal difficulty?
Yes,
6?
normal
Okay.
difficulty. Just like other games, it's always going to be 6 unless I say otherwise.
Cool. Okay. One success on the first one.
Okay. So you've fallen behind, which kind of makes sense a little bit. Traffic is a little bit backed up along the aerial highways as well as down below. More and more people are getting out to do their shopping and getting ready, either from having like deliveries like you or Amazon, companies of that nature, or just doing it themselves. There are still a sizable portion of the people who just like to get out and do it themselves. There's plenty to go see now in this megalopolis.
Gotcha.
But you still maintain a 4.98 rating on your Uber trips. So you are in no danger of running into any problems due to a little bit of tardiness with this delivery.
Gotcha.
Anything in particular you're going to be doing while you're out and about today?
Let's see. Well, he'll turn on the radio to see what's just kind of going on in the world. And beyond that, since he was a little behind on this delivery, he's going to try to step it up for his next deliveries or what have you.
Sure. So you flip on the radio. Thankfully, again, because most of the world is unified through things like Wi-Fi hotspots, internet, and whatnot. It's only gotten more and more powerful as the years have gone by. So the network that you tune into has a little bit of buffer. They play a few songs before they get into their media run, and right now they're playing. As you tune in right in the very beginning of Christmas Time in Hollis by Run DMC. So it's all ba 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 da ba 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 da. For those of you who don't recognize that Christmas jingle, it's the freaking rap Christmas song from Die Hard. Come on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while you're trying to make up on a little bit of time, you end up hearing a news story in particular. It's been making its waves, or making its way, I should say, around a lot of media outlets. People are starting to weigh in on it. It's topical. Right now, Venezuela and Colombia are about to go full-scale war. The media has been reporting that Colombia led a retaliatory strike against Nima's specific wishes, and led a group of what are called chromium guardsman suits, 10 of them specifically, back out into war against Venezuela. They had been gifted them for defense purposes only. However, the government opted to disobey that particular order, and it led to over 23,000 dead in the span of a couple of hours. not quite half of them were soldiers. The rest of them were innocent civilians, and an entire town was wiped off the map.
What were the suits called?
Chromium Guardsmen.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's currently making the news around right now. Political pundits are debating what exactly is going to happen. Should Nema step in because of this violation? What role are some of the other nations in the world taking part in? The big concern is Colombia and Venezuela are nuclear powers now, and Venezuela had originally threatened a nuclear strike. So now everybody who is kind of in that political biosphere is kind of on pins and needles waiting to see what exactly happens.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your next drive check.
One success.
Okay, well, not quite as good as you had hoped. You were a little bit behind in the delivery of this particular bento box. However, they were kind of forgiving. You again, you typically have a good rapport with some of the people. They're regulars, and they understand it's getting real close to Christmas time. So, Davey, NEMA stands for Northern Eagle Military Alliance. NEMA specifically is a maybe I should find a link for this, but you can Google it too. It should actually come up. It is an alliance of Mexico, Canada, and the United States. They have come together as kind of a great North American military power of sorts, and there's much more cooperation now between the three nations on the world stage. So if you end up joining NEMA, it's kind of like a small, it's kind of a small version of actually, it's probably more appropriate to call it like a NATO equivalent, kind of. All the nations the three nations pool their resources and put out like suits of armor, fighter craft, weaponry, and whatnot that any individuals in that military capacity can access. So, all right, but that is what Chip Stone is currently up to right now. You've made your delivery successful, although not quite as fast as you might like it.
Shoot. Okay.
All right, Brittany. So, your intro, Alex Palmer didn't love her job, but she was good at it. And in this city, that counted for a lot. By 8:15 a.m., she was already parked in front of her fourth cup of synth coffee at Spectrafold Studios, reviewing draft comps for a Slay the Season retail campaign. It wasn't exactly soul work, but it paid for the roof over her head and the vintage camera gear she actually cared about. Her Halloween work, macabre, moody, and just the right kind of weird, had unexpectedly impressed some higher-ups, especially after one of the mock campaigns went viral on the firm's test feeds. Now they kept tossing her more high visibility briefs. Hold on one second. Did we lose Brittany? Because she is not in the chat.
I'm sure she appreciates it, though.
Yeah, she's currently having some connection issues, as far as I can tell.
Okay, now I have everybody but Jerome.
Yeah, you're gonna have to exit and come back, I think.
Yeah, we don't have you.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I had to turn off my camera because apparently that helps. But hang on, I'll be right back.
So, on the story, there is a NEMA base in Venezuela,
There's Nima. It's not that there's a Nima base in Venezuela. Nima is a quote unquote a force for good in North America, and
I got it.
they have extended presence, kind of like NATO does in Europe, throughout South America since they're neighbors. But Nima is exclusive to North America.
Okay, because you said Colombia led a retaliatory strike against Nima.
No, they led a retaliatory strike against Venezuela.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Let's try my regular webcam instead of the program.
Also, Brittany, you may want to turn your buffering down if you're watching the live stream.
You know, it's down to auto, but
Don't
I
put
have
it on auto.
put it out of. Don't put it on auto.
Don't put it on auto because it will give you the best settings that it can possibly give you. You need to put it specifically on a low setting.
I see. Well,
Tomorrow I'm supposed to get gigabit fiber installed, so
Oh, nice.
no. Not that I've had lag problems, but my upload will be just as good as my download then.
I mean, I guess I don't need to like see your faces or hear you or anything on the stream.
Just go with your feelings. Use the force.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that interruption.
That's okay. I started seeing you dropping off, so that's why I paused. So let me go ahead and start over again then, since I don't know where exactly you dropped out.
Okay.
Alex Palmer didn't love her job, but she was good at it. And in this city, that counted for a lot. By 8:15 a.m., she was already parked in front of her fourth cup of synth coffee at Spectrefold Studios, reviewing draft comps for a Slay the Season retail campaign. It wasn't exactly soul work, but it paid for the roof over her head and the vintage camera gear she actually cared about. Her Halloween work, macabre, moody, and just the right kind of weird, had unexpectedly impressed some higher-ups, especially after one of her mock campaigns went viral for the firm's test feeds. Now they kept tossing her more high visibility briefs, though that didn't mean she liked them any better. Still, she played the game with a quiet, watchful grace, staying late when needed and slipping out early when she could. Phoenix this time of year was mild, with just enough chill in the air to justify jackets and to let the holiday lights shine cleanly against the desert sky. Home was an older house tucked just off of 7th Street in Missouri, a holdout from a previous century surrounded by smart glass condos and automated dog parks. The place had character: worn wood floors, a stubborn plumbing system, and a pantry stocked with enough sealed meal packs to survive a regional lockdown or two. Emergency prepping had started as a hobby, something to occupy anxious hands and a restless mind, but it had quietly evolved into a way of life. She wasn't paranoid, just prepared. With the holidays approaching, she'd already set aside a few things for the Restart Center down on Camelback: winter coats, a few cans of real food, and a pair of old boots still in good shape. She didn't advertise her generosity. She just didn't explain why she always kept her gas tank at least half full or made weekly checks on her backup generator. There were lines she lived by. Most people never saw them, but she never crossed them. So, Brittany, we kind of know where you are at right now. And, of course, you have that Slay the Season that you are currently working on for retail campaign. So why don't you go ahead and give me an intelligence and crafts as you start finalizing what that's going to look like. Your superiors are eager to find out.
That is a botch, sir.
Wow.
We're starting off strong.
Yes, we are. Okay.
Just got to get
well,
him out of the way.
Yep. And nobody has rerolls currently, so that's
Nope.
interesting. So
I
what ends
mean,
up-
better now than
In
later
combat.
or whatever is about to happen
that'd
in
be
our
bad,
life.
okay. All right, so Alex, you have got everything ready. You start working on it, and a cold chill hits you, like right at an inopportune moment, and you accidentally Control Alt Delete all that work away.
Oh no!
Davey gave you a reroll, by the way.
But Davey
Thanks,
Davey just
Davey.
gave you a reroll. So would you like? So at this point, would you like to use intelligence and technology to see if any of that auto saved and if you have something you can recover?
Yes, I would like to do that. Can I spend a willpower?
You absolutely can. See, isn't it fun to already kind of know the game system you're playing in? Willpower.
Did
is
you
my
guys
friend.
did you guys hear that? Car driving by. Super
No.
loud.
No.
I heard somebody's
Okay.
phone vibrate on the table next to them, but I didn't hear any car.
That's good to know because it was super obnoxious.
Okay, well,
Okay.
so what you get?
Oh, I forgot I don't have a specialty.
Okay,
Uh,
so four
so
successes
-1,
instead
four
of 5.
successes. Yeah, sorry, my bad. The fingers are used to it.
That's fine. All right, so there's a momentary period sitting in your office, because you actually have an office at this point. Not huge, but an office. Looking at it, and you freeze, just like you did. It's like that. Oh, crud!
Oh, shit!
Right. So you hastily go around at this point, looking around like you hate the cloud. You're constantly turning it off and whatnot, and now that moment comes. You're like, oh, please tell me this actually saved. That I forgot to turn it off, and it actually saved for me. So you go over there, you click on it, you look at it, and it was updated from the last time you worked on it last night. So almost all of your work is saved. You only lost maybe the last 30 minutes or so.
Oh, thank heavens.
Which would have been
Okay.
really, really bad.
I'm just gonna lean back in my chair and just breathe for 3 minutes.
So you're taking a moment to rest and just letting everything just kind of sink in. You can see, as you previously described in some of the descriptions, there's obviously, it's active outside. It's festive. They've got hollow snowflakes kind of trickling down on some of the large mega buildings and skyscrapers in the area. Like on the outside, it really does kind of give a nice kind of an aquarium vibe, in a sense that you could just stare at it and decompress for a bit. And then awakens Mariah Carey from her 10,000 years of slumber. As someone starts playing, "All I want for Christmas is you."
Well, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, it may be. So go ahead and give me another check for your crafts. So we're going intelligence and crafts again. You've lost a little bit of time, but again, since you had it at home and saved it, you're okay. Three successes. Okay, not a problem. You quickly, you're stepping back to focus, got you back in the groove. You felt better about it because upper management is really looking forward to this. And even though it's not really something you like, you're getting praise for it, and that's always good. So you put everything together. Takes you about an hour to finalize everything after they've given you the specs on your mock-up that they wanted. And you walk into that room confident that you're going to be able to sell this. So last check for you, give me a charisma and expression check. You do. It's going to be a difficulty 5. You do have the benefit at this point of your work speaking for you. So even if you kind of fumble your words, at least you got some quality work.
4.
You have 4 successes on that?
Nice. Yep.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Hey, do we re-roll 10s if we have a 4 in a stat like Street
You sure
Fighter?
do.
Yeah.
Well,
if you
not
have a
re-roll.
4.
It's not re-roll.
None
it
of
blows
us.
up. It
None of
counts
us
as
should
2.
have a 4.
Yeah, I know, but just asking for the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you don't re-roll it. In the 20th anniversary rules, it blows up.
It just
So it
counts
counts
as
as
2
2.
successes.
Yeah, so you automatically get a second success when that happens.
So did she get 6?
No.
No,
I don't
she doesn't have a special.
I don't have
Oh,
4
okay.
in
If she
anything.
did, yes,
Yeah,
Then
okay.
yeah.
she would have had a 6. She would have really knocked that out of the ballpark. So you went from a brief low and kind of stressed, recovered your work, and then walked back into that meeting, walking back out the creative version of Terry Tate, the office linebacker. I mean, you just absolutely killed it. You've impressed everybody, even your haters in the office. You don't really have haters, but for the people that maybe want your role, that actually want your role, or they want to supersede you or whatnot, you have reconfirmed why you are there. You are that darn good. Okay, so that is what you are currently doing in the office. Mike. Marcus Seville's mornings were ritualized in their calm. A single mug of calf brew laced with synthetic cinnamon. Sipped in silence while the sun rose soft and golden over Central Phoenix, his home, an aging solar modded house tucked just off a quiet street, stood like a remnant of another time, stubbornly analog in a city full of chrome. Outside, the city had gone full festive. Municipal drones strung glittering light streamers between power poles. Holographic sleighs flickered in the desert sky, trailing pixelated snowflakes behind them. It was mid-December, and while most of the city was swept up in last-minute shopping and gift exchanges, Marcus was already dressed in charcoal slacks and a jacket 2 shades too formal for his job in municipal employee relations. But that was just his way. Controlled, measured, clean, safe. He didn't need excitement. Not anymore. His office in City Hall was a quiet alcove of spreadsheets, policy updates, and departmental arguments over budget crumbs. A far cry from his first career. No one at the city knew how much that part of his resume. No one from the city knew much about that part of his resume, and he kept it that way. What they did know was that Marcus had a sharp mind, a dry sense of humor, and a knack for making stubborn numbers work in human terms. His current assignment, the ancient, half-forgotten Maricopa County Emergency Management Office, was more curiosity than crisis. The city barely remembered its existence, a Cold War-era bunker now housing surplus office chairs and data tapes no one could read. But Marcus kept looking at it longer than he needed to, sketching things, running scenarios. Sometimes late at night, he'd sit in his spare room where a wall rack of decorative blades hung in quiet judgment, their polished edges catching the glow of winter lights. There were things he didn't talk about, things he never would, but the past had weight, and Marcus knew exactly how much he could carry. So Marcus, we know you're set up. You've got some budget crumbs, like always, to go over.
Well then, let's do that.
All right, so Marcus, why don't you give me at first? Why don't you give me a perception and finance as you start to work your fiscal magic, looking for ways to better serve the city and state.
1 success.
Okay, well, not bad. Thankfully, you are well versed in the topics that you are reviewing. They haven't really changed much from November to December, which is good. It means it's less for you to review. You found a couple of areas you could probably make some pinches that shouldn't really impact anything as far as the city is concerned. So if you would like to finalize that, you can go ahead and give me an intelligence and finance check. And Abby, you got yourself a reroll. Go ahead and mark that down.
1 success. 2 successes. My bad.
Very cool. Okay. Again, you are very familiar with what's coming in and what's coming out, so you have drafted up. You've basically drafted up a memo, letting them know, okay, hey, here's where we're at. Here's my recommendations for this particular department. If you if you move some financing around, money wise, we're not going to feel a pinch from X amount of workers, and we will be more sound going into the new year. Is there anything in particular, now that you're in the office and it's almost Christmas at this point, there's not a whole lot for you to do. Most people in the office around you, because you have your own office, and there's the floor outside of that. Most of them who have their own cubicles at this point, nobody's hardly doing any work. They've clocked in because they have to, but they're minimally checking their computers, monitoring messaging as they need to. But for the most part, everybody's kind of standing around and just chit-chatting, talking about this or that, their families, plans, that sort of thing. What are you doing?
I'll do that. I'll go around and, check in with everybody. Little chit-chat, make my,
Sure.
talk to my people.
Sure. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma and leadership check? You're not trying to be manipulative. You're just trying to keep morale going. That's something you actually have a lot of skill in doing.
5 successes.
Woohoo! See what I mean? All right. So not a problem. So you step out of your room, your office, and everybody is happy to see you and greet you. You are not the type of manager that people dislike, for good reason. You know pretty much everybody here by name. You know about half of their children, or if they have children, because you've conversed with them. So you have a good understanding and feel for your people. You've got about 15 people that work for you. Your particular department, because you're in HR, touches on some other ones. So it's more of just kind of a temperature check going around, and everybody is, for the most part, having a good time. One person took you aside, more again out of curiosity, because he knows you are familiar with the old Maricopa building, and his name is Dave. And he says, "So Marcus, did you make any finalization about that old Maricopa building?"
Yeah, I was able to rework some numbers, and I finalized that this morning.
Oh, good, because I just looked up. We actually still have some employees there, not many, but it looks like they just primarily monitor the junk.
Can you get me names and org chart?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Like I said, it's only like 5 people that work there, but it looks like they seem to they're dealing with supply surplus, really, and they are also because it was an emergency management. It looks like it's also listed under potential critical resources, but based on, and he goes over the org chart and he says, based on the org chart, it's been completely obsolete for that particular reason for at least 20, 25 years. So it's kind of flown under the radar.
Okay.
Not that I'm suggesting we go to layoffs or whatnot, but if somebody stumbled onto this, I could imagine that's what they're going to start looking at. It's potential waste.
Right. And in light of that, we should investigate and find out what the value is, and so we can make informed decisions.
All right. Well, I will get you their org chart, and you've already got the the address or whatnot. If you want me to kind of spearhead that, I'll be more than happy to. Just let me know.
Give me the data. Let me find out who the manager is, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure. All right. I'll shoot that over to you probably in about the next 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay. And right off of like where your office is there's a meeting room that sometimes people from elsewhere on the floor will use if other meeting rooms are filled up, but for the most part it's known. That's employee relations meeting room, so don't come on this side of the building, sort of thing. Sensitive information and whatnot. Since it's this time of the year, it has been converted to Party Central. So it is the central hive of everybody's little like potlucks and cookie trays and whatnot that people have brought in. There's a little bit of decor, not a whole lot because people don't want to have to clean it up. But there's a couple crock pots, plugged in there. You can smell the little smokies. You can see the sugar cookies. All kinds of interesting little finger foods.
All right. Well, I mean, he'll grab a little to blend in, essentially, to
Sure.
Keep making his rounds.
Okay. Cool. All right. And let's see. Abby, are you with us? I should say, hey, Abby.
Hey, yo.
All right. So let's focus on Naomi here. So Naomi Angelus knew her Brennan Stratus was held together with more hope than hardware. Zip ties on the bumper, Bondo slapped across one side like a scar from past life, and seats so cracked they looked fossilized. Still, it started when it needed to, and that counted for something. She parked it every morning in the back lot of a weather-beaten Dollar General off of Apache Boulevard, where she worked shifts beneath flickering LEDs and tinsel-stuffed end caps. 2 years ago, however, she had a different life. A good job, a boyfriend she moved states for, and a twin who wasn't a walking disaster. Now, Amy had torched everything with a well-placed ID swap and vanished. Naomi was the one left behind, cleaning up the wreckage with calloused hands and a slow rebuilding credit score. She didn't talk about the law firm she lost, the law firm job she lost, or the ex who betrayed her, but she remembered the look on Duke Peterson's face, the deputy who kept showing up to false alarms until he finally helped her untangle her identity from the mess her twin left behind. Thanks to him, the cops didn't bang on her door in the middle of the night anymore, and that was progress. Mike, you're going to need to mute yourself.
Sorry.
No, you were fine. Tempe hadn't gone soft for the holidays, but the corner of her low-income complex did its best. Someone had draped a string of lights across the main stairwell, and a flickering hollow angel hovered just above the building's entrance, its wings glitching now and then in the desert wind. Naomi kept her tomahawks mounted above her apartment door. Two simple, balanced tools that felt more honest than most people she had known. Her pantry was thin, her couch doubled as a bed, But her place was hers. She had left the church, but some piece of that old structure still lived within inside of her. Quiet code, a stubborn hope, and a belief that maybe, just maybe, things could still turn around. Until then, she showed up, kept her receipts in order, and ignored every call she didn't recognize. One foot in front of the other. And when she needed to, she reminded herself. Amy ran. She stayed. So we pick up with you the beginning of your shift.
All right. So, Naomi gets ready her normal way, eats her bowl of cereal, and listening to her very old school tunes. And probably, is this before or after the little chat we did?
This is actually after. This is next day.
Okay. She wants to go out
That was the
and
20th. This is the 21st.
okay, and start her car early just to make sure it's still working.
Sure. Not a problem. So as you step outside, you don't have to go just yet, but you've already got your black polo for Dollar General, the official uniform of Dollar Generals everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you go out, you start up your car without a problem. However, those neighbors are actually louder than your car. Once
They're
again,
still
those neighbors that you heard last night are at it again. And from what it's kind of a mass of just sonic sodomy at times. Just like, it's just, you don't even want to make out what they're saying. It's just angry. It's not fun. And it's just, it's a mood killer, right? It's like everybody in the complex just kind of shies away from that corner. And if they walk their dogs, they walk a little bit further away. It's just anything and everything. And occasionally you make out something like maybe it was, the iron skillet was left out and now it needs to be reseasoned or something. They just don't seem to have a capability of lowering the volume below 10.
Well, she's gonna leave early and just go sit in the parking lot for work.
Sure, not a problem. So as you are heading back out, Anthony from his floor, you're actually on the stairway walking back down. He waves and he says, "Have a good one, Naomi. Drive safe."
I will, thanks. And she'll head to work.
Okay. So and you pull out. Why don't you give me a dexterity and drive check?
Okay, Toby, I need my phone. Hey.
Toby.
He's going to roll for you.
Yes. Which that is possible. If you get certain die rollers that simulate the die roll and you shake your mobile device, it will roll like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, what am I supposed to roll? Something in drive?
Dex and drive. Difficulty
Dex and
6.
drive. One success.
You have a dex of a 3 and a drive of 1. You have shortchanged yourself. Would you like to roll one more additional die?
Sure, I just have only 2 on my dex.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Shh, take it.
Okay.
Okay, so you got one more. You didn't have to re-roll the whole thing. So you got one more success. So 2 successes.
Okay.
All right, so you pull out, and you've lived in this part of town for a year now.
Okay, you can have the phone back. Here you go. All right.
So you have lived here for about a year now. You're used to the traffic. around this time frame. So as soon as so unfortunately, you have to put your aggressive driver face on. And you gun it like as soon as you get out of the complex. There's a little bit of a squeal. You have to make people respect who you are. And to your benefit, when they see that thing crawling out of the apartment complex, everybody immediately assumes no insurance, and you're not going to care, if rubbing is racing. So they're going to give you a bit of berth. They don't want their vehicles dinged. For
Get
you,
rust on them.
yeah, for you, it's just character. For them, probably $10,000 damage if it happens. So you managed to pull out and get on your way. Of course, you're already leaving early, so you are in no worry whatsoever if traffic backs up, or you miss a turn, which you won't. So you get there well before it's time to get in. Even though you don't get paid a whole lot, Dollar General is one of those locations that low pay does go much further at those types of stores. So getting any snacks that you might need or just a drink to pass the time while you wait is not bad. Last thing you want to do, however, is show up inside early because...
Oh, she won't do that. She'll be
Yeah.
sitting in her car.
Right, because if you do, then those in the store are immediately going to assume, hey, she's here to start her shift, and they're going to try to pawn stuff on you, which that's never fun, especially now at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
You were, however, updated that employee that called out yesterday has called out again. So even though you're sitting in your car, you've got a workload ahead of you coming in. And
It's going to be a madhouse
frazzled.
again.
Yeah. However, as you sit and relax, just kind of soak everything in, give me a perception and alertness check.
Okay, Toby. Perception. Two successes.
Yeah, I think you're probably using the wrong sheet.
Okay.
Because I see your perception as a 3 and alertness as a 2.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
No problemo. See, sometimes having the wrong character sheet works in your favor. I just went ahead and resent the one I have to you in Facebook,
okay.
So let's pull it up from there. So go ahead and re-roll, since we know what the correct die pool is.
Yeah, I had a very different one for some reason.
So you have a die pool of 5.
Let me roll, Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
3 successes.
3 successes. 3 successful.
There you go.
All right. So as you were sitting in the back at this point, soaking it in, listening to the chimes and billboard ads as as they run through their advertisements and whatnot. Some audible on the outside, others just playing, going through their routine. The dumpster out back, you end up seeing a hand come out of.
What? Oh gosh.
And then
Is
another
it
hand.
like another hand? Okay, well I am like ducking down,
Okay,
but watching
sure.
intently.
And then someone starts pulling themselves out as they apparently have a bag of stuff that they were rummaging around secretly. Sophie comes out with a broom and starts swatting him to get away like a rodent.
You were stealing garbage.
But that reconfirms your fear. That wasn't a cat last night.
Ugh. Really glad I called Anthony then.
Which also offers up another concern. There may be, you may have homeless in the area who aren't camping out. So
Okay. I will inform my boss.
Yeah, you may want to do a rundown and check the check the locks and make sure the insides of Dollar General are secure, reasonably so when your shift starts.
Okay, well I sent a text to my boss about like the noise I heard the night before and what I just saw.
Okay. All right. So I mean, your boss at this point, he sends you 2 thumbs up emojis, to your smartwatch, and just lets you know that he'll look at it. He'll look at it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. But she's definitely gonna check the locks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when your shift ends up starting, at that point you come walking in, and of course Cecilia, very diligently, she's trying to hold down the fort. She doesn't even say it, but it's written all over her face. She's thankful you're walking in and you're walking in on time. Same song and dance. She's already missed her break. She's backed up by 4 people at the register. And she also tells you that although she obviously couldn't do anything about it, she thinks shoplifter made a run at the store and got away with some stuff, but they'll have to review the security footage later.
Okay. Well, Naomi will go clock in and open up her register and
Temporarily
take some of the load
relieve
off.
Cecilia. Okay, so why don't you give me a charisma and empathy check as you attempt to work your magic to keep everybody happy and keep the line going.
Okay, Tobes, I need this again. Thank you.
We need to start a fund. Buy Toby a smartphone with dice, so he can roll too.
He's Gandalf. You shall not roll.
Charisma and empathy. Okay.
Yeah, Toby's the cute little ghost child.
2 successes.
2 successes. All right. So once again, your ability to kind of work with people, to meet them where they're at and keep them kind of calm and sane, works out to your favor. Many people who come to Dollar General already have lives that probably aren't so bueno, for one reason or another. So they're already kind of irritated when they come in, and either they don't want to be bothered, or they're probably already irritated about something else. But you keep it calm and orderly, and everybody's kind of leaving with a smile on their face, happy that they happen to call this Dollar General their home store.
And that work gives her some satisfaction.
Yeah, I imagine it would. It's a small level of control in the world of chaos that she had previously come from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me get back over here. All right, Callie.
Yes.
So, we're going to catch up with Jackie Carter. Jackie Carter wakes to the flickering of artificial sunrise and the soft clatter of delivery drones weaving past her high-rise window, 24 stories up in the Maryville megastructure number 1. Those of you who don't know, megastructures are massive skyscrapers that also double as kind of their own mall. Popularized by the comic series Judge Dredd. So if you've seen Judge Dredd the movie, either version of them, they have had megastructures in them, massive buildings on the inside. Gives you kind of an idea of what this looks like. Her apartment is compact and military neat. Tactical layout, zero clutter, walls hung with a few faded unit flags, and a punching bag that's seen better days. A string of cheap LED lights drape across her window frame, flickering red and green like they're trying too hard to be festive. She's not working, just waiting, riding the rails of unemployment while her NEMA security clearance crawls through whatever bureaucracy handles background checks for world-ending crises. She's disciplined about it, though. Mornings are for workouts and dry fire drills. Afternoons are filled with long patrol-like walks through the complex interior. She keeps an eye on things. Jackie's got the kind of smile that puts people at ease, but there's always a sharpness behind it. Marine etched and waiting for something real to go down again. Maryville megastructure is dressed for the season in its own way. Giant holographic wreaths hang from the plaza escalators. A 10-story AR tree shimmers in the atrium. And a commercial jingle echoes from vendor stalls like they're pumped in with recycled air. The lower levels are a neon splashed labyrinth of cheap takeout, holiday sales, and people trying to make their way through another December in one piece. Up here, higher in the stack, things are quieter, but not safer. Jackie hears the sirens daily, watches peacekeeper drones sweep corners with hard eyes. Crime runs hot in Maryville, even with the extra patrols. It's not the kind of place you let your guard down. Still, she nods to the old man who sells calf beans from a push cart on 20, chats with the maintenance lady fixing hallway lights and tinsels wound through her toolkit. It's not the kind of Christmas she'd imagine, but it's real, and for now, that's enough. So, Callie, what is Jackie up to right now? Megastructure number 1 is kind of a one-stop shop for the most part. And you're muted.
So I think she's just going to do her daily routine. In the middle of it, grab food for the week, or the first couple days at least.
Okay.
She knows people are going to be closing early for the holiday. Just making sure she's prepared until the chaos goes.
Sure. Okay. So
And,
as you make your way down to the lower levels, where all the shopping takes place. Oh, and side note, for those of you who have played Cyberpunk 2077, they also have some megastructures in there as well. So same kind of vibe and feeling. Yes, MC-13 still runs this part of town. Dagnabbit. So you make your way down to the lower levels. You've got burrito alarm at one end. You've got I don't even remember all the names at this point, but you've got some other restaurants. The king of the fast food wars, Taco Bell.
Yes.
Koala Detour.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll kind of pass by all the restaurants and stuff and just try to go straight with stuff she can just throw in her fridge or dry goods. Like she'll go grocery,
Okay.
and just kind of stock up for a couple days and then get back to patrolling around.
They do since Maryville is still kind of maintains the Latin vibe in the area. Long time ago, Mexican and Spanish families tended to move into this area, and that's kind of propagated ever since. So Maryville tends to have that kind of flair about it, around. So some of the more of the eateries are Mexican or Spanish or occasionally Tex-Mex kind of in flair. The little food, the little, I should say, like grocery stores or marts, double up as carnicerias, with, little butcher shops on the inside where you can get more Spanish specialties for food. So so when you get down to lower levels, it's got that kind of vibe. Spanish music, still the mariachi, coming out. But of course, now that technology has really kind of gone out there, old mariachi music has been re-recorded and redigitized, so it sounds way better. Muy primo.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, then she'll just pick up staples.
Sure.
She'll say hi to anybody that she sees on a daily if they're shopping as well, or the the people that work there, and just stop by a carniceria and just grab just small
Sure.
amounts of everything.
You've got you've got Steve, who actually manages one of the elote carts that kind of makes its way around, sort of thing. So you may not buy from him all the time, but he's a familiar sight for everybody. Like everybody kind of knows him that comes down at this level, because if they don't interact with him, they at least know him because they see him.
Right.
Yeah, because it's hard to miss. Like he's pushing the cart around, got a little jingle, kind of goes, sort of thing.
She'll stop and she'll buy from today.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It's holidays, and she's like, you know what? Sure, I don't have to cook anything.
Okay, so I mean at that point, so he, Steve looks at you and he says, so hey, have you heard back from those Nema folks? Have they gotten back to you yet?
Still waiting. It's just the hurry up, get everything in, and wait. Can't do much else right now.
Man, that's kind of weird. I mean, especially considering like everything that's going down in Colombia and Venezuela. You think that they want to get all the people that they can. You were like,
that's what I thought. But
you're like ex-military, right? You were you're what? You were airborne, right?
No, Marines. But
same difference.
Yeah, but yeah, I have military experience. They said I'm clear. I'm going through. I mean, I just have to wait for this paperwork. There's not much else I can do about it.
Man, they don't got their heads screwed on straight.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna be getting into some conflict, especially if this continues on. So I'm a little worried, but I think maybe it's holidays. Maybe people are just taking their time because nobody wants to do paperwork right now.
Oh, you know what? That sounds about right. Most corporations kind of drag their feet. Hey, did you hear on 13 that they had some gang problems again? You might want to keep your head like low when you go past up there.
Great. That's I'll keep my eyes peeled. I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, that's
No, I'm sure you can handle yourself, but
I'll skip it.
A kid jacked up on some sort of synth coke, you're coming at you with a knife. Can be a little bit too much.
Yeah, it can be.
All right. Well, anyways, you have a good day. I'm gonna jingle my way around and make some more sales.
Yeah. No. Good luck and have a good holidays.
Have a good one. So he just goes around. Doesn't even have to say anything. Just kind of pushes with his thumbs, jingles that little bell, and everybody knows. Hey, Elote man's coming around. Time to buy.
Right, yeah, she'll just she'll eat that on the way to the store while she's shopping, and just picks up some stuff, and then she'll head back up to her apartment.
Cool. All right. All right. So Shelley.
Yes.
So Matilda Kern didn't exactly live in her apartment. She survived in it. The one-bedroom unit in Maryville Mega Building number 1 looked more like a cross between a startup lab and a pet supply warehouse than any kind of home. The living room was where she slept, usually on a futon surrounded by empty packaging sleeves, nutrient carts, and flavor tests for her homegrown product line, Munchy Bunchy, a trail mix style snack for cats and dogs. The actual bedroom had been converted into her mixing, sealing, and bagging zone. 3 weeks worth of dried foods sat neatly stacked in storage crates, ready for local drop-offs or mail order fulfillment. Word of mouth kept her sales slow but steady, and she knew every buyer by their name. When she wasn't blending kibbles or checking her clunky old webpage, she worked part-time at the Phoenix Zoo, filling in where handlers needed a break. It wasn't glamorous, but she liked the animals more than most people. They didn't pretend. Maryville's megastructure was a concrete hive of movement and noise. And this time of year, it buzzed with clashing smells. Fried food, pine-scented cleaning sprays, and cinnamon-simulated holiday aromas pumped through the commercial levels below. Tinsel-wrapped escalators and flickering neon snowmen added a layer of gaudy charm to an otherwise grim place. Crime ran high, but Matilda walked those halls like she had spurs on. She'd grown up tough, out where the weather tried to kill you and the livestock kicked harder than most drunks. That old ranch raised grit hadn't gone anywhere. If she was worn down, she didn't show it. Even on the roughest days when the holiday crowds were loud, her bank account was thin, and some rescue mutt barfed up a test batch, she kept on going. Quiet, stubborn, steel-spined, Matilda didn't fold, she endured. So likewise, you are in Maryville's megastructure number 1. A good portion of the description I gave to Jackie also applies to you.
Mm-hmm.
You would already know about the trouble on level 13. People are trying to avoid it. A lot of drugs, a lot of gang level related activity coming out of there. And people don't buy your products there anyways.
Right.
So
Okay.
what is Matilda currently doing?
I think Matilda probably be dragging herself off the couch from a late night of mixing and sampling.
Okay. Futon.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, futon. She would probably grab what orders she had to drop off for the day
Okay.
and head out.
Alrighty. Let's take a look. Here's your character sheet. All right, so that means you're gonna hop in your Toyota Rover Trek, or your 2082 Toyota Rover Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Biofuel compatible engine, all-wheel drive. Alrighty, so why don't you go ahead and we'll start you off with Dex and Drive. You two also have to negotiate the highways and byways and the traffic of the Phoenix Tucson mega complex. All right. So one success. You get out of Maryville without much of a problem. However, the highway to get you further, which is the 10 right there, it's like you race up to it to come to a stop. It sucks. Thankfully, it's not hot. The area in here, it's got a nice, temperature and whatnot, but it's, to put it mildly, it's like the beginning of Office Space. One lane kind of goes forward, and just when you're about ready to switch lanes, it comes to a complete stop, and that lane starts to go, and it's just a bunch of that. It's a lot of waiting, a lot of hoping people get out of the way. And even more so, you would think some of this would let up with the hover vehicles being available. No, it's still pretty cheap to get tracked vehicles. The hover vehicles at this point in time are the equivalent of electric cars now. In our era, you'd see them. It's on a good day, you'll probably see a couple Tesla, maybe what are they, Rivia, some of the other ones like Toyota makes or whatnot. You might see some, but generally speaking, that's only for the people that have got a good bit of money. So,
Yeah, I think while she's waiting, she would keep checking her phone, check her website to see if any new orders have come in. And she'd be sending messages back to customer inquiries.
okay. You don't have any inquiries as of yet. Why don't you go ahead and just give me a resource roll?
A resource? Okay.
Yep. Pardon me. See if you have more coming in.
Failure.
Okie dokie. All right. So with that, then there is no touchdown for you. You've just got what you've got what you have on hand, and that's about it. So you have for today, you've got 3 deliveries to make. Because you are a specialized product. Yes, definitely not unbreaded. Because you have a specialized product, your customers are in Scottsdale. You are in Maryville. Look at the map. You have got a gross drive.
Yeah, she'd be looking at her GPS.
You have the option of trying to get back off the freeway and taking side streets, which is going to take longer. Well, debatable. But you can either get off the highway or go and take the back streets.
I think she would check her GPS for alternate routes.
Oh, there's plenty of alternate routes.
Yeah, she would pick even though they're not all that good, she would pick the best one, and as soon as she could get off, that's what she would do.
Just like Brian Boitano do? Sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity and drive check then?
Okay.
I had previously had my Google Maps from Phoenix to Tucson to see the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know where Maryville was. So I looked at Maryville to Scottsdale. It's still 2 hours inside Phoenix.
One success.
Okie doke. So, at this point, it's hard to say whether getting off the freeway or taking a side street is going to be faster. It's a 50-50 gamble. What would you like to do?
She's a gambler, so she'll take the side street.
All right. So you eventually get off right at, let's say, right around somewhere probably right around 20th Avenue.
Okay.
As you're getting out of Maryville, Glendale area, and starting to get into downtown. You'll have to try and make your way around, but that's an upcoming challenge. So as you get around and get off of the freeway, of course, it is a little bit faster getting around but when you start trying to head east on any of the roads just off of the freeway, it's also super backed up.
Oh, gosh. Just not my day.
Nope, everybody right now is out trying to shop or coming back.
Okay, she'll be texting her customers, telling them that she's stuck in traffic. She'll be there as soon as she can.
Okay, well, let's just see what kind of rapport you have with your customers. Probably decent considering they're buying from you. Why don't you give me a charisma and expression check as you are sending messages to to console them and
3.
to hopefully maintain. Cool. Okay. It is. Ah, suddenly I got a case of the yawns.
I know, so do I. I think you gave it to me.
Oh, I probably did. One sec. All right. So none of them are complaining. They're probably more tied up with Christmas, or making sure that's taken care of, than they're worried about Poopsie getting his little treats on time. So you're good to go. Right now, you're just driving across town.
Okay.
Weird sound like Darby for a second. Okay. So that was Darby. All right. Go lay down. Go on. So that is all of our peeps and their intros. Let me go back and take a look, see what else we have. Wrong folder. Right folder. Apologies. Looking at my notes. That's not what I was looking for. No, okay, that's not it either. This is another one I kind of went crazy on the notes, so you'll have to forgive me. I have a lot of doc files now. Okay, I think this might be it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is one of the ones I think I posted in the chat, too. Cool. All right. It is. Okay. So let's get back on over. At this point, it is closing time for Marcus Seville. You have gotten your information on the facility. It's up to you if you would like to follow up on it directly, or if you want to assign that to your person.
I'll look into it.
Okay. Did you want to go there directly to investigate, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So Marcus Seville, I believe you have a hover vehicle.
Yes.
You sure do. Wait a minute.
Wait, I just abbreviated the Maricopa Emergency Management Office, the MEMA bunker.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to that, but that's it. You have the Nissan Terrapulse.
Terrapulse?
Yeah, SUV. I don't think it's an SUV. It is a hover vehicle. I need to take a look.
Hybrid electric hover SUV is what you sent me.
Oh. I actually went so far as to details like a bunch of like cars that might have been made in that era, which were not designed in this particular game. So that's how deep I went with this. So that's why I'm going back and consulting some of my notes. All right. So then you don't have the traffic problem. Getting over there is not going to be a super big deal. One thing I like about having Google search. If I search for something, it will recommend it to me again. Okay, so the Maricopa County Emergency Management Center, actually, when you get there, is all the way out on 52nd. Is all the way out at 52nd Street and McDowell Road. For those of you who actually live out here, yeah, that's way out east. That's actually almost. You're almost right in between Tempe and almost right in between Snotsdale and Tempe.
Near a big hill, it looks like.
Yep,
Okay.
that is it. So when you get out there, you also see that it is that it actually sits on the property for the National Guard.
Okay.
Of course, the National Guard right now is not currently activated, so all of this is being maintained by the city.
I would have made sure, I guess, before I left that my badge had access.
It doesn't, but that's not going to be an issue. You would have called ahead
Okay.
and just let them know. So they would have been able to get you a visitor's badge, and obviously it's no muss, no fuss. They know who you are, and they know within a couple of clicks what exactly you're here for. So, okay, you're for that place, no problem. So you drive across the campus, and if you can see it if you're looking at the map and seeing from it, it's pretty open. And you come around to the old Maricopa County Emergency Management Building. It's got a couple cars parked out front, all of which are land driven. None of them are hover. And the building itself is actually kind of built into and down around kind of two somewhat large rocks. Small, I wouldn't say small mountain, but one of them's a small hill.
Okay.
So when you come up there, you swipe your badge. Security person ends up walking you through. He's actually looks like he is an actual just contract security guard. Got some generic security badge name on the side. And
Okay, I'm looking around the place. Is it in repair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the benefit of the building. It's kind of hard, short of dropping a bomb on it, to make it not in repair.
Okay.
But
I guess I meant on the inside. Is it like, getting cleaned on a regular basis? Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's still collecting some dust. Don't get me wrong. There are still some obvious signs that it's not important.
Okay.
When you first come walking in, like there's a hallway that goes like all the way to the back, and it's the old civil defense signs from the 40s and 50s. You can actually see that those are some that they have a few of those.
1940s and 50s.
What's that?
The 1940s and 50s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that far back. And then it looks like because obviously, I mean, you've worked in corporate, you know that most corporations, especially when they have their own building that they're maintaining, they have a room or an area dedicated to the place where copiers go to die.
Yeah.
And you see, just like when you come walking in there, there's like just a row of just outdated printer copiers, several stacked old computers that are easily 20 plus years out of date, probably more. Some of them have that faded white color on it that from the plastic that's going bad, starting to yellow. But Jamie, who is the guy, for lack of a better term, the guy in charge. There's no real manager per se, but they have like a senior processor that everybody looks to that's here. He shows you around everything that they've got there. In fact, may be able to show you some actual pictures of what it looks like. Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. Because they there was an article that they actually did a while back on it. So here's one of the actually the primary quote unquote ready room. I'll post this in the Facebook chat for you. Where's it at? There we go. Abby is not back. Abby is Abby.
The door is the jar.
Exactly. You're not a jar. If you were a jar, you would hold something. That should kind of give you a little bit of understanding of what that might look like. I think I might be able to find.
I love the people under the tables.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't joking. They actually still do have old, a lot of old, like, I don't want to say propaganda stuff, but stuff from that, that age when it was first built. Oh, here's another shot of what it looks like on the inside. Hold on a second. I'm going to put the article here because I can't copy the picture. I'll put that in there. There's one picture on the inside, and it shows you what it's like in there.
Is it underground or is it
Yes.
on the surface?
No, it's underground.
Okay.
That's why you see, like, it's got like a concrete, interior sort of look. But when you get to the exterior hallways that go around it, it's like rock facing, on one side.
Okay.
But yeah, so, when he kind of walks you through and he says, and he's like, so this is our humble abode. I don't know what all I can help you with, sir. But, most of the computer systems here that were for emergency purposes are pretty out of date. We haven't received any sort of, updated patch for the operating systems in a while, but that makes sense. The computers are outdated. Building secure. We try to keep it as clean as possible. We do have emergency link ups specifically for first responders that come through here in the case of a disaster. But in fairness, there hasn't been an actual disaster that warranted the use of this building in early 2000s.
All right. This is a bunker, is it not?
Yeah, that's why it kind of fell to the city. From my understanding, it was originally military use, and then they just turned it over to the city when it wasn't really necessary post World War II.
Are there supplies and medicines here?
Well, we didn't know what to do with them. They're Cuba Missile Crisis quantity.
You said quantity or
Quality.
Quality.
Which means much of it's out of date and the water's no longer potent or potable.
All right. It's hard to it really is hard to justify disaster readiness to bean counters. That's what brings me here today. Is there's on the books there's a lot of value to this place, but I wanted to see it for myself because the people I work with in finance are just going to see a surplus and do something about it.
Oh, well, that makes sense, sir. But I mean, if we could get the supplies, I mean, it's still very secure. It's all self-sealed. We do have, active filters. And I believe, because we haven't had to use them, we still have air filtration filters that would supposedly help against atomic attack.
Well, that's good to know. Hopefully unnecessary. All right. Can you put together a list for me of what the building needs? And I'd also like to hear what the people need. Is there anything? I'm in HR. Is there anything that you people need here?
Geez, I didn't even know that would be a thing. Are we talking just like survival or for operational purposes? Because I mean, we've got a couple requests for ergonomic equipment that obviously never goes through, so they have to bring in their own stuff. I think a water bottle system in here would be great, just like a cooler or something that we could utilize. There's obviously all this wasted junk that we don't need that could be recycled and repurposed in room for actual emergency supplies. And if this was to be used for an actual emergency facility, I mean, we really need to get some updated computers in here.
All right. I'll see what I can do, especially about your chairs in the water. The rest of some of it's got to go through IT, so I'll talk to them. But this place is essentially functional if needed.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some protocols that we would have to reinstitute with first responders because, I mean, but it's still in the books. There's unless they've rewritten it and not updated us.
Are those easily accessed?
Yeah. I suppose you could just put a request into the heads of those particular, first responder departments, and they should be able to let you know. But
no, what I mean is your processes. I mean,
of course, it's hard copy, sir. But yes.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for the tour. I will see what I can do about these requests.
Great. Thanks. So, I mean, just with that alone, I mean, it's a small crew, but they're all kind of like,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So
we're going to get sit-stand stations.
Never know where some friends might help. So,
and it was surprisingly climate controlled in there too.
All right. Well, I'll, whatever we have for phones in 98. I'll make myself a task list for the next day at work.
Okay, cool. All right, so you start going through and getting that done. All right, so Chip, let's finalize your run of deliveries. Let's get that out of the way and
Sure.
see if you've got anything else on the horizon.
Okay. Let's see here. So making a Dex and Drive check.
Yep.
Okay. 5 successes.
Woo, look at that. All right, so the rest of your delivery runs, like you this city from the air or the ground, like the back of your hand. You don't even GPS is too slow for you. Like you the best ways to go, and especially being able to fly, you're like, I could probably fudge it over here. No one's gonna, try to pull me over because it's not technically an air lane. So it's like you just weave, in and out, much like a scene from Fifth Element, just in and out, no problem. The traffic, get caught up real quick, and then like right as you get down to your last delivery run, you end up getting a suggestion for a ride, and it's to take you down to the other end of the mega complex, all the way down to Tucson. But that's big credits.
Well, about what time of day is it right now?
It's about 5 in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably do this and then get dinner afterwards. So this will be my last one that I do. So he'll accept it and then go to where he needs to go.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you fly and you go and end up picking up this individual. He's pretty no nonsense, but he is a NEMA officer. Looks like he holds the rank of captain, as far as you can tell. He is in his dress blues. Does actually have his firearm at his side, but it's just like a pistol, not like an actual like rifle or anything.
Gotcha.
And the only thing he really says to you is, if you can find a way to shave off time to get me to Tucson, there's a big tip in it for you.
You got it. Let's see what I can do.
All right. Why don't you give me another Dex and Drive check? Actually, before you do that, why don't you give me a perception and alertness check?
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. So you haven't done this trip often, but you've done it enough to know people who are trying to do like go back and forth like that. They're usually the big tippers, so it paid ahead of time to plan out your own kind of route to get that's gonna shave off the best part, the most time that you can.
Cool.
So go ahead and give yourself another Dex and Drive check. Difficulty 5 at this point, because you know where you're going.
And I will spend a willpower for that tip.
All right.
4 successes.
All right. So with a gun of the thrust, off into the wild blue Christmas yonder of the mega complex, I should say, you go. You are off the beaten path a little bit, which is actually to your benefit because there's less fuzz out here. Cops don't tend to patrol too far outside of the mega complex because they've got enough to worry about with all the other suburbs and whatnot, Oro Valley and what. So you kind of know where you're going to go, and you hightail it. You are definitely going to earn those credits.
Sweet.
When you and we're going to wrap with you when you end up getting there, you actually go through the security gates of the Mothin Davis Air Force Base.
Okay.
And give me a perception and alertness check, difficulty 7.
Okay. Two successes.
Okay. Uno momento. Okay, so you end up hearing probably a conversation you shouldn't be hearing, but clearly it wasn't vital enough for him to try and code it in some sort of language, or he just didn't care that you heard something. But you heard them talking about one-sided, of course, the Titan missile base, which is outside of Tucson.
Any details as far as like what they're referring to with regard to that?
You're actually not sure. That's what's interesting, because that's a decommissioned nuclear silo from the Cold War. Now now an actual museum.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's interesting that he's bringing that up. It's obviously there's no way to bring that into active service for any reason, but why he would be talking about, why he specifically would be talking about it, in a military sensor like, because you get the emphasis that this conversation, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to take my kids to the museum while I'm down. That not that type of conversation. Not just like there's something of some kind of import to it. So
Okay. Was he having that conversation like on the phone with somebody, or
Yeah.
was he like, okay, gotcha.
on the phone.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and so that's what you end up doing. Okay, so Alex, you are actually you have wrapped up. You have absolutely killed this. Your boss actually took you aside, actually like took you by the arm and briefly took you aside, like right after the meeting, and so that there was a bit of like bluster and noise and one of the people just making idle chit chat and whatnot. And he just ends up saying, he says, look, Alex, I know I put you on the spot yesterday. It was it was your day off and whatnot, but you really pulled it through. Thank you so much for helping us land this contract. I am not going to forget this when bonus time comes around.
I'm glad to hear that.
And listen, I know this is not your dream job. I've noticed. But I just wanted to say personally, I'm glad to have you.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
So while we wait for other stuff to fall in line, why don't you just take the rest of the day off, and why don't you just go home? My mea culpa for bothering you on your day off.
You sure? You're not going to need any like follow-ups or additional...
You killed it. No one's going to question that at this point. Your presentation is solid. All we have to do is get it in production at this point. And I honestly, if there's anything we need to touch up with it, it can wait. We're coming up on Christmas. Well, I should say we're coming up on the final holiday. I can't imagine there's going to be anything at this point. You've really knocked it out of the ballpark.
All right. I'll make sure all my updated files are on the server, and see you tomorrow.
Again, thank you, and enjoy your rest of the day.
Thanks. You too. Okay, so I'll go back to my desk and do a little cleanup, just making sure that everybody has access to what they need.
Yep.
Double check my emails and lock out.
Okay. You receive a message on your phone. It's a very familiar chime. It's your house.
Oh.
And it says, Madam Palmer, your feline friend is out back. Shall I let him in?
Yes, of course.
And so you see Yukon kind of looking around like this, already expecting to be in. And then when he sees that the little door cam is probably looking at him, he sits up and paws at the camera, and you hear him meow, 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 meow.
Should get something a little more automatic so I don't have to approve it every time he wants to come in.
You can do that, but for safety concerns, it was something that weirder things have happened where people have tried to fit their way through like dog doors and pet doors.
The camera doesn't have it's not smart enough to identify a white cat versus a human or a badger.
It's a badger, mushroom. Sorry. I mean, you could absolutely. You could discuss it with your VI if you want to.
Well, I'll
have it set up like a recognition program or something, so it recognizes
tell him to go ahead and let him in, and we'll deal with that later.
Okay. And then
I might take myself to lunch.
Okay. And of course, your house then asks, shall I continue to maintain the temperature of your abode? And will you be returning at the regular hours so I can begin putting on your favorite, as you put it, spudtastic recipe?
I will probably be home early. I'm going to get some lunch and then probably be home after that.
Excellent. Then I will monitor any further transactions at the home. And by the way, madam, your neighbor has left you another thank you note on the doorstep.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
George signs off. Whoop.
Okay, so I will swing by some koala detour and bring it home.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. So that's what you are doing. All right, so Jackie. So Jackie, you have gotten everything. You've gotten everything together at this point. You've bunched on your elote. You've got a little baggie of essentials, all mostly just dry goods. At this point, you're trying to make what money you've got left. Hold on until you start getting something for, Nima pay at that point. And when you end up getting inside, like right inside your small little home, you end up getting a chime on your phone.
Okay, take a look at it.
It looks like you have an email.
Oh, go ahead and open it up.
You open it up, and it is from the recruiter. The recruiter is indicating that your documentation has gone through. You are to report tomorrow for early orientation.
Oh, good. Mary Solstice to me. Okay. All right. Then I will start. Where is orientation?
They actually indicate to you that is going to be at Luke Air Force Base.
Okay. And then is there a list of anything that I have to bring?
Actually, they've already got everything else. At this point, you just need to bring yourself and dress accordingly. Obviously, they're going to provide you with a uniform and whatnot. But there's obviously a list of expectations on there of what you can expect the first day to be like. And of course, they haven't quite finalized when you're going to go through a muted version of boot camp, because obviously you're returning more.
Right.
They're more concerned with your physical, which you already passed, and then some competency tests.
Okay.
So that's what they're going to wind up running you through. Some of that is up in the air, but mostly the orientation is to start, and then they'll probably have more information for you after that. But it's got it listed out on there with some guesstimated dates. But obviously, because Christmas is coming up, it's the recruiter obviously indicates on there that this isn't normally how you're brought in, but you were brought in with a batch of about 100. And so they're trying to coordinate this last minute in accordance with the holidays as well.
Okay, yeah. Then she will get ready for the next day. Really, she's just going to set out clothes, probably skip patrol. She doesn't really want to get into any trouble, run into anybody or anything the day before. She's like, let's not risk it. I don't want to get shot. And then, then she'll pretty much spend the day just...
Cadet, why is your stomach leaking?
Yeah.
I got into a knife fight prior to orientation, sir.
Yeah. Not my fault. Someone stabbed me. So then she's like, okay, guess I'm going to just hang out today. She'll do probably another workout and, just set her alarms to be ready to get up and out of there.
Cool. All right. Great job. Matilda, so you managed to wrap it up. You've got your doggies, their treats. Their families are, of course, very happy with that. They're, they can't complain. When you eventually get back to the Maryville Mega Complex number 1, there's actually some police out front, so it takes you a little bit longer to get in. gang activity. Unfortunately, there was a shooting, so there's a section that's been like taped off, and and people are doing their investigations or whatnot.
Okay. Well, she would just lug the bag of dog food and cat food that she picked up, the cheap brand, of course, to feed the strays.
Mm-hmm.
Since she can't really do it at that moment because of the police. So she'll lug herself up to her apartment.
Okay. So as you as you get on the elevator and start going up to your floor, as you get to certain floors, pets start getting on the elevator with you. They can smell you.
Yeah.
So you've got like 2 cats that are on the elevator with you that are like kind of walking around you, hoping that you're gonna put something down, and like 2 dogs that just roam the complex. They don't really belong to anybody. They just exist, in the building somewhere.
Yeah. She would just open her door to them and feed them.
Okay, sure. So obviously the dogs attack the bowl in which the food is in. Uh, why they don't have better manners, unclear. But it's like when they're biting down, like chasing the bowl as they go, sort of thing. So they're probably pretty hungry. Cats
Yeah.
are much more demure about it because
Yeah, she would
they're
have
cats.
their bowls up high where the dogs, like probably like on a
Sure.
table or counter.
Okay. All right. You're ready. So you are tending to some pets then.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I
cool.
am here.
Just want to make sure because I know you were staying off of mute. Okay, so you are in the middle of your shift at this point. Why don't you give me another charisma and expression check?
Okay. Two successes.
Wow, if one of those wasn't a 4.
I know.
Good gravy. That would have been a heck of a roll. All right, so at this point, so Cecilia has come back on so she can finish up her shift. You're walking the floor, for a bit, picking up, making sure the room still looks tidy. The place looks tidy again. You've diffused 2 more situations between customers. One, one grouping was a problem where, they rammed carts and they took it to 11 and didn't really need to. And you managed to like calm it down, and with your discretion, you managed to give them both like a 5% discount or something for just keeping it cool or whatnot. And again, this is the reason why this is their Dollar General. They are super happy to come here despite clearly not liking each other. One was the Sharks, one was the Jets. Another one you ended up helping out because a kid wandered into the store and he was lost, but he just confused the store with another one that was like a couple buildings over. And so when his parents came and found him, you helped kind of keep him occupied and not freaking out, and mulled that situation over. And now give me a perception and technologies check as you make sure to make your rounds to keep Dollar General safe.
Okay. Two successes.
2 successes. Okay. So you make your way around. You've actually taken some time to also review security footage. Cecilia was right. The store did get taken. Thankfully, it was just a couple of kids, so they didn't really steal anything big. It was mostly like candies and drinks and whatnot. So minimal loss. Still not great, but minimal loss. They'll probably be back. The important thing, however, is you found that there was a problem with the back door.
Okay.
If you don't pull it, which it's supposed to actually automatically pull tight. If you don't physically pull it and it gets open for some reason, it's the employee entrance after all, it will sit ajar. And when you finally realize that, you realize that's probably why the homeless person was back there. They may have been taking more from the store and it wasn't just junk.
Okay.
They may have had some sort of access to the place.
Can I like make up like just write up a sign for the employees to say make sure you push or pull or whatever
Make sure
to
doors
close
pull
the
shut.
door?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Grab out a marker, or actually, you end up at this point. I mean, paper and pencil is still a thing, but it's actually more common and considered more green, I guess, in a way, that they have what is effectively like electric dry erase boards, in a sense. They're really cheap.
Okay.
They're battery powered, meant to be disposable, but the battery in them tend to keep for a couple of years. They're on the sturdy side, so there's that. And in essence, it works like a dry erase board. You just draw with your finger, though, and whatever you draw on it, it automatically lights up. So it's kind of like one part light bright in a sense that way, but with your finger. Really small,
Well,
has stickies on the back. You can just put it up against something and it'll stay illuminated for hours.
Okay, well, I put that up there.
Okay, so yeah.
And I'm guessing like there's like a group chat for our
Yes.
workplace.
Yes.
I put it in there.
Okay.
So the boss knows and the other employees.
So the boss reacts to your comment with a heart emoji. And then in all caps, he's like, "Great job, Naomi!" And, big thumbs up. And then some of the coworkers that you oversee that like you, which are most, just kind of put some like hands up, sort of thing, to show applause or that they're jazzed or that they'll do it, acknowledging that they got the message.
Okay. Then I'll just go back and walk around the store, check, just tidy up the shelves a little bit, unless there's a customer out there waiting.
Sure. Okay. And that is actually where we're going to end for the evening for our opening game of Survivor's Dawn. So thank you guys all for tuning in and playing with us. Before we go, however, we have RP votes to go through. This is where the players kind of get to return the love for scenes or things that they may have done, or maybe there's something interesting about their character that they just want to vote. This is all brand new to everybody. So why don't we start with Dale?
Mine's going to go to Mike for being such a great HR manager, being nice. Awesome.
All right. Brittany.
I was also going to go with Mike just because I think he's in some interesting stuff right now.
Okay. All right. Abby.
Same, Mike.
Okay. All right. Mike.
Mike, no.
I was gonna say, in case you were wondering, you can't vote for yourself.
Well, I don't know, just meeting everybody. But I was getting a giggle out of the fact that I'm playing with Dale in 2 games, and he's apparently the driver in both of them. So I'm going with Dale.
Okay. All right. Callie.
I'm gonna go with Mike because I like the HR spin with this bunker. I'm very interested in that. So.
Okay. Shelly. And you're muted and you're pulling a Mr. Wilson right now.
I'm going to actually go with Kelly
Okay.
for not leaking at orientation.
Oh, for not putting herself in a situation she's gonna stomach leak over everything.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. All right. So obviously Mike won the RP vote, so you get to put down 2 additional XP on your character sheet.
Hey, thank you guys.
All right. So next week is our next round of games on Wednesday the 23rd. We're back with Star Wars at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mythic Savannah on the 25th, which is at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. And Marvel Superheroes on the 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be sure to tune in and hang out with us there. And if you like more of this, obviously we are back again on the 30th at 7:30. So thank you again for tuning in, hanging out with us, and I hope you guys have a great night. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night.
All right.